Once upon a time, two retired teachers decided to convert their garage into a pottery studio. Along with their daughter and son, they built a business around the idea that the world could use a little more art and a lot more artists. We're the Kaya family. Welcome to Wocky Pots. Hey everybody, before we get started with our normal program, we have a very special thing to share with you. Last Saturday, our friends Sandy and Tim dropped by our booth at Chincoteague Island Farmers and Artisans Market, and they delivered a very special thing to us. Diane, you want to tell them about it?
Yes. Look at this gorgeous vase, everybody. And I have to tell you, we met Sandy and Tim at the market. We didn't know them before the market. And they started coming to our table and talking to us and buying pieces of pottery.
They're genuinely good people.
Just wonderful. And we made a piece of raku pottery for them to give to their daughter for her birthday. And all of a sudden this past Saturday, they showed up and they had a bag and said, "We have a gift for you all." And we were like, "What?"
We were pretty astounded.
It was
very
just
awesome.
amazing, guys. And I've got to share with you, you turn it around so they can see, because Tim made this. And it's priceless to me.
Yep, I'll show you a closer photograph of it too.
Yes. So here's the information that they gave us about the piece. This vase was made from the limb of a chestnut oak tree, which grew in the Pennsylvania mountains of Perry County. The twigs came from a small wooded area in East Donegal Township, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. The black rings on the vase were burned into the wood, using a paint stir stick as the lathe was turning at high RPMs. The vase did not get hot enough to burn horsehair, which is kind of funny because, the horsehair raku.
But this was a very, very special gift we wanted to share with you guys separately from the rest of our normal
and we
video.
felt like it deserved the table to itself.
Thank you very much, Sandy and Tim, for making our whole day. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Not just the whole day, I think the whole week,
the whole
month, the whole year. I don't know.
It was really awesome.
I love it, and thank you.
Yep, thanks so much, guys. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Hi, everybody. How you doing? How you been? How are things? Shane and Diana here with another episode of Coffee Time here at Wocky Pot Studio. Holy cow, what number are we up to now?
Well, I gotta look. It's 39.
Number 39. We've been doing this for a long time, you guys. So what are we going to talk about this week?
Well, today is Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Yes, here in the United States and Canada, the first Monday of September is when we celebrate Labor Day. And of course, we're excited because for our Labor Day, we're going to labor in the studio.
We're going to be working all day. I remember when we were teaching, Labor Day was always an exciting time because after that is when the students came back.
Yes. And in fact, Christopher starts his schoolwork tomorrow.
In earnest.
Yes. And we also take our dog Juno, that you all saw a picture of last week. We take her to the vet so that she can be spayed.
She has an appointment tomorrow.
We have an idea she's going to be a super big baby about the entire ordeal.
She will cry and whine. Yep.
Yes. So anyway, but we'll go ahead now and we'll talk about
what's been happening.
Yes, what's been happening last week. So last week we added 50 new pieces and it finished out our August. Well, if you folks remember, when we started August, we only had a little image in the middle, and that was our goal. I ended up having to add 2 more graphics on here, and our final total, I even had to add to our final total, is 210 pieces.
210 pieces, you guys. That's not bad.
In the month of August. Yeah, so I was super happy about that. I feel like we accomplished a lot in August. So I'm looking for really good things in September.
Yeah, it'll be even great. Even greater.
But yeah, so I did say we did 50 pieces, didn't I, last week? I did. Okay.
And
good.
so what else from last week we want to talk about?
Oh, well, we can talk about the Iceman that's on the table because this is the first time, other than 2 small scallop plates I made one other time, that I have used the Kentucky Mudworks Iceman. You've thrown a few things with it, and we had, did we get a full box or did we get just one bag? I can't remember.
We got 50 pounds of it, yes. So
okay, so we had a full box. Okay, and this week we finished up the rest of the box.
Right.
So
I have approximately 10 or 15 pounds of it left that I'll be throwing on the wheel.
Yes. So, but I finished up a bag with the hand building. And what I did this week was I tried to put it through its paces so that we could decide whether or not it was a white clay that we would want to use here in the studio a lot. And so I tried it with our forms.
And I realize it's probably hard for you to see. I will show pictures of these closer up, guys.
And added texture to it. Because one thing I had noticed with the Chincoteague is when you add texture to the Chincoteague clay, it doesn't always like to be shaped after it has had texture added to it. So I wanted to check the Iceman and see if that was the case too.
And what Diana means by that, doesn't like to be shaped, means that it cracks.
Yes,
and
it
dries
cracks
unevenly.
where the texture is different thicknesses and stuff. So, so after I tried with the form, I went on and built a straight-sided mug with texture again. Had no problem with rolling it around and joining it, and no problem with the handle sticking. And then I did a pressed plate saucer.
And you did a hand-built pumpkin.
I did, because with this one there is a lot of joins. So I figured if it was going to crack, this would be where it would. And I'm looking, and that's not really a crack in the actual clay.
That's just in the slip.
It's in the slip
joint.
where I joined. So see, I can take my finger and it's gone. But I was worried for a second.
Right,
but it's okay.
And we'll look at this and really examine it. We're really actually paying attention to the characteristics of the clay, so we can tell whether or not it's something we want to keep in stock.
Yes. And then the last thing that I attempted to do with it, and it seems to have handled it well, is I took my straight-sided vessel and then bellied it out with a rib to see how it would stretch.
And the big test is going to be with the glazes. If it makes it through the bisque flaring just fine, then our glazes will be another challenge to see whether the clay fits with what we're already using.
Yes.
I have some worries about celadons, but we'll see.
And I will say, folks, these pieces were made just last week. They're not even a full week old, but they are completely dry, even though I had them under plastic for a couple of days. So these ones will be getting bisqued. So we're gonna know very soon. Yes.
So we have a little bit more of that white clay left over that later on today, in fact, I'll be throwing on the wheel. And by the time we're all finished with it, we will know for sure when everything comes out of glaze firing. We'll know for sure if it's a good fit.
Yes, and then maybe that'll be part of our new stock.
Yep. And getting away from the experimenting, I made a bunch of cups last week, and I made a bunch of other things too. You can see there's some things behind me back there, but these are the handles that I just put on. And I'm actually looking forward to this little monster cup here.
So cute.
We can't wait. And of course, I will show closer up pictures of it. But when it's finished, I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic. This is kind of in preparation for the monster mug building class that we're going to have in the studio in a couple weeks.
Yes. And folks, if they want to make a mug, they can make a mug, but they can also make a toothpick holder, a toothbrush holder, a soap dish, whatever they want to make that is
bowl,
monster
whatever.
theme. Yes, that's right.
Yep.
So we're just kind of getting into that whole autumny, Halloween-y, type vibe. So
Yep.
yeah, so that'll be fun.
So outside of actually making things, we had a couple of other life events going on last week. They finally got the dehumidifiers and the fans and all that stuff out of that room that was flooded because of our HVAC. So the house is a little more quiet. We can actually get some sleep. So that's good.
And I don't feel like my nerves are on edge all the time because it was that sound.
Right.
Oh, it was loud.
Yep.
Very
So
loud.
for now, that's done. And then the next step is we're just waiting for them to pull down the ceiling and then pull off the affected section of the walls and put down new flooring. It's still going to be a process, but at least we don't have that 24/7 fan thing going.
That's right. And at least life is a little bit more normal, or as normal as it can be.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
And before we go on to our other eventful thing, let's talk about the market, because we didn't go to the market on Wednesday.
Right, we skipped the market on Wednesday. We literally had to stay in the studio and make things. We didn't have enough stock. But I feel like that was a good choice. We got a lot of stuff done, and we did really well at the market on Saturday.
We did. It was a great market. Lots of folks coming through that day. And our most popular items, I have out an example of two of our most popular items. Our maple syrup pours were one of the most popular and most purchased items at the market. And people were buying them, yes, for syrup, but we also had folks buy them for salad dressings. And little individual creamers, one lady did. And then the other thing that was our most popular and purchased item from Saturday were the raku vases.
The horsehair raku is very popular. We're going to definitely be making some more of those, and we have some pieces all ready to go right over there behind Diana. So we'll get those.
So I wanted something happy to put there.
Right.
You know, I got to share the happy news. You know, the market was great.
Yep, and we got lots of stuff done, and it was a good week as far as the studio goes.
Yes. And now for the sad news.
Yeah, we had a loss in the family last week. One of our cats passed away, and I'll show you pictures for sure, so you know which cat I'm talking about. But
it's our sweet Sasha.
Sasha has been with us for 16 years, so she's been around for a while.
And she was older than that because we had gotten her from the SPCA. We had gone in with his mom because his mom was looking for dogs, and you know, we're heading for the dog section, and you had to pass the cat section. Well, my eyes were just, there was something that made me just turn and look, and I looked right into her eyes, and at that moment it was like, you're mine. We hadn't gone to get a cat, but we got the cat. We went back the very next day. We filled out the paperwork that day, went back the very next day, and brought her home. She walked into our house as if, yes.
There was no nervousness, no tentativeness. She strutted right in.
She was ours. We were hers.
She owned the joint from day one.
Yes, and just I've knitted so many things over top of her through the years.
She was a very, very good pet, and we'll miss her very, very much.
Yes, we will.
Yep.
But now we're going to move on to other things. Otherwise, you're going to see me cry.
we're still kind of mourning that.
It was a hard day yesterday. So let's move on to our question, because a couple of weeks ago, Fiona, one of our viewers, had asked, how long does it take you to make a 2-pound bowl on the wheel and a 5-pound bowl on the wheel?
And Diana and I kind of have gone back and forth on this a little bit, because she says it takes 30 minutes to make a 2-pound bowl on the wheel.
Or the 5-pound.
Or the 5-pound. Yeah. And I think that it's going to take considerably less time than that. Yeah. So because we haven't actually stopwatched it and really timed it, we're going to estimate 30 minutes, but it will probably be less than that. However, because we really do want to know and have a solid answer, this afternoon when I throw the white Iceman on the wheel, I'm going to be throwing a couple of bowls, and I will actually time it. And then I will time how long it takes to trim it. My estimation for the trimming is if I do a pretty good job making the bowl, it's going to take less than a minute to trim it. But sometimes you run into snarfargles, and sometimes things happen. So we'll find out. But our guess right now is less than half an hour total time. That's from the time you take the clay out of the bag until you have a bowl in your hands.
Right. So it's the putting it on the wheel, the coning it, the shaping it, and the trimming it, and then ready to put it on a rack for it to dry, for it to be bisqued.
And then the glazing is another process that can take a very short period of time if
Sure.
we're dipping, but we probably won't dip, or a longer period of time if we want to go for something that looks a little better, but that has to be brushed on glazes.
But Fiona, we are going to make sure we tell you the truth on that one.
Right. So we're going to get
find
exact
the truth.
And not only are we going to be doing that, but not to get ahead of ourselves too much, but next week I'm going to be doing a couple of videos, 2 videos here in the studio.
That one.
One of them is going to be the video showing the process of making the bowl, and the other one is going to be a comparison between our little Vivor pottery wheel and the larger wheel that I use in my Brent that I use in the studio as my main wheel. So there's a pretty good chance we'll see bowls made on both wheels.
Oh, that would be nice. So. Yes. Well, and that'll give a good comparison too. So anyway, so we've got lots of filming happening this week. Right. And then of course, on Thursday, I think, we're probably going to be heading to Pennsylvania to get more clay, hopefully.
Right.
There's an issue. The standard 112 clay that we normally use.
That's our speckled clay. Is
not available right now, and there's a huge wait list for it to come. So it could mean a trip to Richmond, Virginia instead if we really, really need to have that. Or if we're satisfied enough with the Iceman and they have the Iceman, then I'll take the Iceman, because I have to say it was really, I liked working with it, and it was easy to hand build with.
And it's a little bit unusual because of the lack of specs in it. There's also no grog in this. And that means that for me, working on the wheel, I've already made a couple of things with it. I like the feel of it. It's fine. It's not quite as compliant and bendy as the Chincoteague brown. However, it is certainly something that I can make things with on the wheel.
And it handled my texture better than the Chincoteague did. So, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind at all using that a lot here in the studio.
So we might have to adjust a little bit, but it was fun, and if it all goes well, that might be a new one here. But we are going to make the trip because we're also almost out of glazes. Right. And in fact, we're out of quite a few of them that are our favorites to use. So I'll actually be getting some gallons of some of our very favorite ones. I know I shared before how I number the jars, and we have quite a few that had the number 4 on them, so it means it's time to get it in a gallon form.
Especially now that we want to start ramping up our production as our sales drop off for the end of the market season. Because when we open our online store, we want to make sure we have everything fully stocked. We want to be ready to go.
Yeah. The other thing we're going to be doing today, Carolyn's coming over. We're going to be making lots of things today. And then all of the things that are dry from last week are going to be put into the kiln tonight to bisque. So that's going to be happening today.
Our ultimate goal would be to have that glazed and ready to sell on Saturday. I don't know if we're going to be able to make that fast of a turnaround or not.
I think we can do it.
That's what we're trying.
We can do it. If I can get it to come out of the kiln on Wednesday morning, and we glaze furiously.
Maybe. We'll see.
Then we can put it in Wednesday evening, and it can come out Friday evening.
We will have to glaze with great vigor.
Yes.
I think we can probably do it.
We can do it. It's good to challenge ourselves.
Yep. And if we can't do it, well, at least we tried.
That's right.
And we'll see.
That's right.
If we really get desperate for pottery, we could fire the kiln less than full. We can do that. Not that we want to.
And I am looking forward to getting in our order that we placed with Diamond Core Tools, because, you know, I've always wanted a Diamond Core tool.
They're premium, you guys. Premium tools.
Yes, I did. And so you have 2 things coming. You don't know one of them.
It's a surprise. What do I have come? Do you want to tell me, or are you going to actually make it?
No, you're going to have to wait. But you have.
It's a brand new car.
You know, you have the little sanding, the Diamond Core sanding
discs. Is that what you get?
The hand one. Remember, I don't know. I showed you, but anyway, and
in one ear and out the other.
all it said was it decreases your exhaustion when sanding.
I'm pretty sure that was one of the sanding pads. Yes, that's what,
I think
okay. Yeah.
That was one of the things I got you, but I got you something else too.
She's not going to tell me what it is. It's going to be a surprise.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what if it's an armadillo? I've always wanted an armadillo.
Yes. And guys, I never get stuff for myself, but I got 2 things for me too.
Did you get an armadillo?
No.
Okay. Well, pangolins are also pretty cool. I'd go with either an armadillo or a pangolin. I
actually got one of their extruder handle pullers.
Oh, okay.
Because, I've been using mine and mine are a pain in the butt. They were cheap and they were a pain in the butt, but I've been making them work.
So you're getting a good one.
I'm getting a good one.
It'll be like a Cadillac.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yep. Well, cool. Anyway.
And then I have one more thing too.
This is probably also a surprise. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what comes in, and we'll let you guys know for sure.
Yeah.
So that's coming. That will probably be this week.
I think it's going to be this week, and if it does come this week, maybe I'll do an unboxing video. I've never done an unboxing video. That would be fun.
Yep.
Then that way you can have the surprise with me. And then the last thing we would need to talk about is the things that we're going to be making new.
Right, new things. And in addition to our normal everyday stuff that we've always been doing, it has at least 3 or 4 people have said that we need to make kitchen utensil crocks. So picture a cylinder. Pretty not too difficult to make. Pretty simple.
Maybe 6 inches.
Yeah, we'll
tall.
look at the ones that we have.
We have one on our counter. So.
And so that should be easy to make. And
and you're going to do that.
Yep, they could be hand built easily also, but I'm going to make them on the wheel.
Yeah, and I know. Oh, from the market last week. Remember my little pinch pot salt pig? I had a little pinch pot salt pig and a little pottery spoon that I had made to go with it. That thing went.
Yeah, somebody like that. The lady who bought that loved
snatched it right up. And Audrey Lynn Studios, Audrey said to me, that's similar to my one that I throw on the wheel. And I believe she called it a smackdown salt pig. And so I went and I watched the video, and yes, it's on the wheel, so I guess I might just try some of those on the wheel this week.
That would be fun.
Because I do have some chamber sticks that I need to make for a Christmas order. So that's on the wheel. So I might as well, while I'm on the wheel, try my hand at her salt pig.
Yep.
So,
why not?
So we'll see how they turn out, guys. I'm not so...
You'll be fine. You'll be just fine.
Sure, but I prefer my hand building, but that's okay. I'm going to give it a try. It'll be fun and it'll be new.
Right, and I'm sure you'll do fine.
And then the last thing that is actually a question that we have.
Right, we need your input, guys.
Yes.
We actually need your help with something, and we need help from 2 different groups of people.
Yep.
We need help from people who buy pottery, and we also need help from people who sell pottery. Yeah. So we're talking about prices, and right now when we price things at our table, at our market booth, we put the prices on the bottom, and you can see the tag on the bottom.
Usually they're white, not this hideous orange. But...
Right, they're out of white tags. But the question really is, as a consumer or as somebody who sells pottery, where would you like the tags to be? Do you want to be able to see the tags from the outside if you're a consumer and you're walking by? Do you want to be able to glance over and know how much something is without having to pick it up? Or would you rather it be on the bottom? Now, my kind of suspicion is that if you're buying pottery, you might want it to be on the side where you can see it. But if you're selling pottery, you might want somebody to pick your pottery up and actually feel the weight and the heft in the handle. The only way to do that is by picking the pottery up. So that's when people are introduced to your price. Now, under no circumstances will we have pieces on the table that don't have a price at all.
Right.
So the question is, do we put the prices on the outside where you don't have to touch the piece? Or do we put the prices on the bottom where you have to pick the piece up? It is certainly prettier without seeing the price tag, but maybe that's not what people want. So you let us know.
Yes. What's your preference?
What's your preference? We're not doing any kind of a formal survey or anything, but as either a consumer or as somebody who sells pottery yourself, how do you do it, or which way do you think is best? We're just looking for input.
Yep.
Right? Okay. All right. Well, I think that probably just about wraps us up for this week's episode. We've got a couple things we want to do today. None of it involves slacking off, which is a little irritating, but that's okay. It's going to be fun
but
anyway.
Why not do the work that you love?
That's
to
right.
Do?
It's not like it's not like it's work we don't like. You're exactly right. All right, guys. Toodaloo, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care. See you later. Have a fantastic day, no matter where you're at. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.